And my goal is to try to create a business with two other people that they have in it and stuff. The thing is, I don't know how to do the content because I'm doing content about ChatGPT and more random stuff. So I don't have a very clear plan on that. So I have no clue how should I focus that, because I know in Spanish, at least some people I know, they just do N8N workflows and they show them how they do it in order to get leads, you know.
So the niche that you operate in is basically content about N8N and AI. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're asking, if I'm not mistaken, if I understood that question correctly, like how should you go about creating a video where you show how to create an N8N workflow to create content for YouTube?
Yeah. I don't know how to focus, how to change my channel, or how to focus it.
Cool. So could you drop a link to your channel actually in the chat?
Yeah, I was gonna do it.
Could I check it out?
Let me see the chat. Where is chat? Chat. Reaction settings. I don't have chat.
Yeah, it should be at the bottom right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me see. Let me check out this channel. Cool. Let me share my screen. Sweet. Alrighty. So it's all Spanish, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Ooh, this is cool. No, don't be. This is muy bien. This is cool because that's like about as far as my Spanish goes. This is really cool. You know why? Because you can take really big outlier videos in English in this space and do them in Spanish. Whereas like I could basically imagine that I go and I want to create the same video topic that we were talking about. Let's just do it right now. Let's
That's why I do it in Spanish, because I kind of feel it's my unfair advantage.
Let me share my... Wait, I was on the screen. Never mind. I'm dumb. 1 second.
Yeah.
This right here. So how to create N8N workflow for YouTube. Like, let's just search this really quickly. So like, for example, like this video right here, I know this has been done so much in English, this like N8N tutorial. There's somebody I'm thinking about specifically. What's his name? He's like this guy right here. Dude, this guy, like, this guy makes tons of videos on it, right? But like, let's take this one, for example. If I were to do this in English, I know that this specific topic of how to use N8N to create YouTube content has been done so many times. I would have to flip it. But because you make Spanish content, you could literally just do this exactly, because, you know, the Spanish market's completely different. So let me go into this guy's channel, because I know for a fact he's done this. I know for a fact he's made content about this.
Standard workflow automation alone can deliver anywhere from 30.
I obsessed over this for a while. I was trying to figure it out. And then N8N just pissed me off. I was like, couldn't figure out. I was like, what is going on? Let me see. Let me type in YouTube. Maybe it'll come up. YouTube. I tested open it. No. Let me see. I built the ultimate team of agents. Let me see. I'm pretty sure he made a video specifically about, I swear I watched it, specifically about how to build content creation. Maybe it was this one. How I 100% automate long form content. Yeah, there it is with N8N. Dude, I would literally take this exact title and just make it applicable to Spanish. And I would do that. I would take all of his proven outliers, really. Like, I would go like him and other people. And I would, you know, normally we have to get a little bit creative, so we're not like completely ripping off the outliers, especially if they're in the same niche. But in this case, you can, because it's completely different segments of the market. Like, you are doing it to a Spanish audience. This is an English audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would build and sell AI or N8N AI automate or agents or whatever, like whatever these are most applicable to your niche. Or like this one. I think this was the one I was looking for right here. Here we go. 273,000 views. I built a 24/7 viral shorts machine with no code, free N8N template. Do this video exactly, but in Spanish.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I have
Does that
there is
answer
a,
your
I have
question?
there is people that is focusing and is doing this, and I'm not sure if I like there is a lot of people also doing this in Spanish, but maybe not copying that much the outliers. But I know that they do some things. But I'm gonna try
Okay.
it. But also the question was more like I have a lot of doubts on whether I'm because I work full time as a data analyst, and I'm trying to build by my free time like with a business or something. So my goal was to make NI10 for businesses, and I don't know if the best use of my time is through YouTube, because I know there is a lot of effort. I have been for 1 year on YouTube, half a year seriously, and I wanted to like I need someone to tell me like, yeah, just go all in on that, or just start trying to get leads from another place that is easier, because paying ads it's faster maybe sometimes.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say that other traffic sources don't work. They work.
Mhm.
For me, YouTube's worked the best. And for most people who, I've worked with, it's worked the best because while it's a little bit longer before you get the leads in, it's way higher quality because it's intent based leads. Like they're people who like you have all the leverage because they're coming to you. Like when somebody comes in through ads or like I used to do cold outreach, man, you're like having to go back and forth on pricing and hope that you don't miss out on that lead. Like you don't have as much leverage. When you create YouTube content and people see you as the expert and then reach out to you for your help, you have all of the framing and all of the leverage. And that's why like people are able to have services on the back end of YouTube and charge such high prices from it because people they are coming to you asking for your help. With that being said, yes, it can work. My only thing is, are we like I would say I would do this. I would first say, okay, who is the exact archetype or basically like ideal client that I'm trying to bring in? Because if that's the whole reason you're making content, then we don't need to go make videos like that are just going to optimize for virality. We'll want to be like, okay, who is the ideal viewer that we want to bring in? Who will convert to my actual client? So I would ask you, who is that? Do you know who that is? Like, is it
No,
busy entrepreneurs? Is it
like no, there's like it's businesses and people that we can install chatbot and all this stuff on like on anytime workflows, automations for companies.
okay?
This is my
So
archetype.
that's pretty broad, but we can still work with it. I would probably get a little bit more specific, but let's work with that for now. So your who is basically like businesses, and then what's the whole reason you're making content? Figuring that out. The whole reason you're making content is basically to install these systems for what? It's to buy back their time, right? Or save them more money in like employee
Yeah,
costs and stuff like that. Correct?
yeah. Buy back
Right.
time, get more leverage. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing that editors do. They make the mistake of when they're trying to make it content about video editing to get video editing clients, they talk about video editing techniques, but clients don't care about the techniques. They care about the results. So you should be talking about the results your edits got with that content. Should be the same thing here. You can 100% walk through the workflows and stuff, but really start shifting your content more towards that who, so the businesses, and then focus a lot on the transformation. Like if you go and you do a tutorial on building out whatever you're building out, keep tying it back to how you help businesses. Like you need to be like you can't just make content and hope the businesses come to you. We have to like YouTube's algorithm's really good at showing the content that we make to the right people. We just have to make sure we're giving it the right input. So the best way to do that is getting really clear on who you're making content for. So in this case, let's say businesses, ideally like a little bit more niche, like maybe agency owners or coaches. Like that's what I mean by a little bit more niche. But let's just stick with businesses for now. And then making sure every video ties back to the transformation, which is the result. So, which by the way, like that would be an example. By the way, guys, if you run a business, Hormozy does this a lot. If you run a business and you're trying to save X amount of revenue by cutting down your employee costs and you're trying to build more bulletproof systems and buy back more of your time, then you should check the first link description below because that's exactly what we help people do. Like obviously make it sound better. I'm not super familiar with your offering, which is why it doesn't sound as good, but constantly tying it back to that. and making sure that you're like mentioning, this is who we help, this is what we do in your content. And if it loses the viewers who are watching AI automation just to learn AI automation, good, because we're not trying to convert those people. We're trying to convert the business owners. And then basically trying to figure out, like, putting yourself in their shoes, what type of content could I make that would make them want to hire me? Who on their team, like for example, let's say that we take a startup who doesn't have a ton of staff. Let's say that they're really, really busy, and the CEO has his assistant. Let's say his executive assistant. He's like, "Hey, assistant, please figure out how to build me systems so I don't have to have X, Y, and Z problem anymore." She goes to YouTube to try to figure it out. She stumbles across one of your videos. Maybe it's you teaching how to do it. And then she realizes, oh, wait, this is way more advanced than I thought. And then the video has you saying, oh, I help people like you, and this is how you can work with me. This is what we do. She's like, oh, he's not just teaching people how to do this. He's actually helping us. Now let me reach out to him because this is way above my pay grade. And then she'll bring you to, the CEO. This is just a hypothetical. But the reason I use editing as an example is because I've worked with a lot of editors who have had the same issue. And this is exactly what we did to fix that problem, to bring in leads with their YouTube content. So I don't know if that was helpful.
Yeah. The thing is, I have a question about, like, in Spain, what they do is most of the people that is doing what I want to do, they are showing the N8N workflows and they show all the process. Okay, and then my doubts are, maybe the CEO or the person that sees this, maybe it's not that much interested on the N8N and everything, how it works. Maybe it's just a template or a show, or what is the advantages of this stuff work. But as no one is doing it, I suppose it doesn't work, or I should just try it. I don't know. It's two different types of content, like showing how to do it, but it takes a lot of work, and you lose people in the meantime, maybe. And maybe like 5 minutes on how you can automate the business and just an explanation. This is in my head what maybe could help also.
There is a strategy called the Pareto strategy. It's also a concept, like a rule. It's like the 80-20 rule. It's 80% of your content should be one of those pillars, 20% should be the other. The key there is in your packaging. Like, you're not going to say my N8N workflow to do XYZ. You want to package it like, this video solves your problem. So for example, what is like the biggest goal? What's the biggest reason a business will hire you?
Yeah, to get more time, basically, on with chatbots or stuff like that.
Great.
Automates processes.
So I would package the video, instead of like everybody else, like, hey, this N8N step-by-step workflow to do blah, 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 blah. I would just say, like, you said it was buying back time, right? Basically.
Yeah.
That was the biggest pain point. I would position it like, who you're targeting. So the who in the title, and then I'd be like, who? So like calling out that specific person, and then titling it like, how to buy back 8 hours of time or X amount of hours of time every week with this AI system. Super vague, super broad, but it speaks to the person and it speaks on the pain they have. Then when they click onto the video, they're like, oh, it's like a full walkthrough of N8N. This looks complicated. I'll reach out to you, because right below in the description, you have links to work with you, and you mention it right after your hook, ideally, and also at the end of your video. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the targeting should be because I see people, they do titles that are for everyone, and then they focus, like, they do two things, the people with N8N. One thing is for companies, and they just leave the link there below, and also they have another business, which is Skool, which is a community for B2C.
Yeah.
So if I do that, I just focus on B2B, which is okay for me, but it's just a thing that I have seen. Okay.
No, it'll work. It'll work 100%. Like, before I was doing B2C, I guess it was always technically B2C, but I was running like an agency originally. And I was driving my main way of getting agency clients, where they would hire me basically to just do their YouTube stuff for them. It was through YouTube. And I literally did what I'm telling you right now. I would like do exactly that. And then in the video, I would show them this whole strategy, and then they would realize, holy crap, there's so much that goes into this. I'm just going to hire him. It's like the same thing.
Okay.
It's just you need to have patience and you need to be consistent.
Yeah,
But it can
because the thing is,
1000% work.
I change a lot of subjects, so I guess I should focus on only one person, like only one target.
Yeah, 100%. Because you also
Like I know that, but it's hard.
enthusiasm them.
It's very hard to do it, like as I'm by myself only and trying to. And
Yeah.
Okay, so if I like you would say like to have 2 months that I go all in on that and I just do videos focused on that.
I would.
And then after that, like about CTAs, I have a question which is I put in the chat the tally. And if
Sorry?
you can open it,
I see it.
in
I
the
see it,
chat,
yeah.
I added the tally. I send people there.
Cool. This is let me see. This is like a discovery 30 minutes where AI can save your company time and money, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if I should do like because no one click here. Maybe because also I don't have a lot of views, but also maybe it's not a good lead magnet. And I am thinking maybe I could just do another lead magnet on 5 ways to 5 best apps or web to help
So
the
free lead magnets are really, really good for B2C. For B2B, what works way better is just straight to a landing page. So when I was running my agency, when I'm going to like when I'm selling education or coaching or anything else, free lead magnets clean the floor. They do super well. But when I was doing agency, which is still not B2B, some of them were, but in your case B2B, it works way better just to have straight to a landing page that's really optimized, like a headline, a VSL, and a call to action with a lot of context as to what you do, and then a book a call button. Then that's where this should go, where like they could go and book a call. But you should lead them to a landing page first so they can get more context before booking a call.
Okay, because otherwise they're gonna leave. Just they're not gonna put the context information.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you got to think about like if I'm a really busy entrepreneur who just wants his problem solved, like I don't care about free lead magnets. I care about just going to the landing page, learning more about you, and getting a call and hiring you. Like I want to be quick with it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to play around with a free lead magnet. B2C completely different. It's a great way to build, give more value and build more trust. But B2B, I would just go straight to the landing page.
Okay. Then I guess I'm going to change it and I just do something with anti-gravity. I just do a landing page.
Yeah, I would, man. I would definitely do that. And then make sure you're saying that in your videos too. Like telling people like, hey, if you're a business owner, I can help you do this. Check out the first link in the description below and then move on. You know what I mean? Like don't just make the video, make sure, you know, sometimes people will go down, but assume that nobody will just go and click. And with that assumption, force yourself to mention at least twice a video.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna leave. Time to hurry it.
Cool, man. Let me know if you end up having any more questions. Feel free to message me in the community as well, and let me keep me posted on how that goes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. How's it going, Jill? Welcome.
Good. Good morning. I'm just listening. Yeah, Albert, like I would hire you if I were looking for someone to automate, and I would.
Thank you.
I would consider it anyway because I don't know if that's what you do. I'm not trying to hire you now, but yeah, like there's a book called 10x. You should read it. But like if you tell me like I can 10x your day, your business day, and make you 10 times more money by automating your system, book a call with me to find out how. I would friggin' book a call every time. Yeah. How's it going, guys? I'm just here to learn, like,
cool.
See what you're talking about, Dylan, today. What new stuff is what?
Yeah, today's just a Q&A call, but there was a bunch of people, like I had like 6 people who told me they were going to be here, but they're not here. So I don't know. Maybe they just forgot. So yeah. Any other questions you guys have, we could, keep going.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
I
think.
have an hour cut out for this, so.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think all the questions I have. Have you ever run ads for your YouTube?
I have tried it. Yeah. And I'm just like, every time I've tried running ads, nothing converts for me like organic YouTube content, like not even close. So I always just end up turning them off and just going back to sticking to my guns, which is the organic YouTube.
What did Gary
But
Vee say about live also?
yeah, how did you know he talked about live?
Because I I watch a lot of content, and I mean,
Because that's
when
literally like he spent like 30 minutes straight talking about lives.
yeah, curious
um,
what to say about that.
yeah, well, one other thing I was going to say is that doesn't mean ads don't work. Just means that I haven't cracked the code on them like I have with YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
Max
I
Pearson,
would
he's somebody
ads.
who I work with.
Yeah.
He crushes with ads. He crushes with ads.
Mhm.
You know, I've tried. They've done decent. I've had ads perform well. I just don't like the quality of leads that come in from ads because
Gotcha.
it's like people who haven't built the trust or gotten the value from me, and they're much colder and they require a lot more effort versus the people who come in through YouTube. It's like they're almost pre-qualified. You know what I mean? So like every time somebody comes from YouTube, it just makes the whole entire process so much easier, so much more like frictionless
Okay, good.
in my
I'm just,
experience, at least.
yeah, I'm just hoping that I never have to run ads. I mean, until I have a product or something like that. But yeah, because I mean, we've gotten already some traction just not doing anything right. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
And to answer your question
yeah,
about Gary really quickly, just so I don't forget, sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
To
yeah.
answer
Thank
your
you.
question as well,
Yeah.
he said that we should be doing every single day TikTok lives. I personally hate TikTok. I never post on it. Like I didn't even have the app until I went and met with Gary. But he's claiming, and his team as well, were like, TikTok live is the place to be right now. Like apparently TikTok's pushing you like crazy and you can get a ton of traction by just going live every day. Like
Hmm.
he's grown. I don't remember, but they showed the analytics. I don't remember the exact numbers. He grew some stupid amount by just going live on TikTok every day.
Wow.
Because like the algorithm pushes like crazy. So he basically just went on a tangent for like several minutes about how everybody should be doing TikTok live.
Hmm.
Am I going to do TikTok live? Probably not. That's
Oh,
like so far from what I want to do. But
yeah.
if you're trying to get in a lot of volume of traffic, it's probably a good thing to do, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I probably will eventually when I'm doing more like food and exercise stuff, but not right now. Um,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome, Isa. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Any other questions, guys? Today is a Q&A.
Yeah, maybe I have a problem with my workflow of YouTube. If no one is talking, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say
go for it.
my situation. Like I don't know how to put all my process of the YouTube because I have like the editing. It takes a lot of time. Now I'm trying the new app that you did you say the Velio? No, Velio no. Velio is
Tella.
for thumbnails. Tella, and I think I'm gonna use it 100%.
It's all you need,
And
man.
with an item, I just share. And then I have another problem of personal inexperience with an item. Like I know I have some experience and I'm trying to learn. But what I did is I matched with two other people that know a lot of N10, and I don't know that much. Like there is one sales guy and one which is the developer. And my goal is this way I focus only on YouTube because I cannot do everything as I'm already full time in a job. So how would you do it in order to get leads, but without being that much experience? It like my goal, maybe, and now I have a meeting with them, is maybe I can just ask them for workflows of things that work, and then I just show them online.
Stick to the basics, man. So like that's what I like. For example, I didn't know everything I know now when I started, and I won't know as much as I'll know in 5 years now. But I just stick to the part like the things that you do know, because what you know is probably 10 steps ahead of what the business owner who's struggling buying back time already knows. So I would stick with the basics. And honestly, it might even be your advantage because what I've seen happen a lot, like I was just on a call before this call, and somebody was telling me that they're so far from being a beginner, like they're so advanced at what they do, they forgot how to make content for even beginners. So you might even like what you think is your downfall might actually be your unfair advantage. Lean into it.
Okay, so you would do like more basic content, and then use maybe some of my colleagues' workflows to show how advanced can we go as a company.
Yep.
And just put it.
Yeah, and also I would be learning while you're doing that, so you can, of course, like just naturally progress at what you're doing, so that you can naturally progress your content as well as you progress.
Okay, and about what limits can I put myself? Because not right now I'm doing all AI, ChatGPT, Notebook LM, I show everything. But I want to. I know I have to focus, otherwise I just don't get traction. Even I don't even get views because one video is about one thing, another about it's just about what I learn, not about what my avatar needs. How would you go about that?
Every single time you have a video idea, I always run it through the two questions that, like, first of all, making sure that you're focusing in on a specific thing so you don't confuse the way YouTube pushes out your content. Like you were just saying, if you're posting several different things about like different, like it won't push your content because it's about different things. So I would ask myself, okay, who is my main ICP? Like the same questions I told you earlier. What's my whole goal of making content? And then what is the best, like, I guess, content pillar to do? So in this case, I guess it would be AI automation, I guess would be your main content pillar. And then any idea I have, I would ask, does this fit within AI automation? If it doesn't, don't do it. Like because if it doesn't, then it just probably won't get pushed. You know what I mean? So I would tie everything back to AI automation.
Okay, and I had a meeting with a person that runs YouTube a little bit bigger than mine, and he told me that also I should focus more on anything, for example, that converts to leads. Because, for example, if I show how to use Notebook LM, I'm not sure if you know what it is or.
I do. I have it. Yeah.
And if you use that, if I do a tutorial on how to do that, the thing is, it's very simple. It's like a ChatGPT. Like people is not gonna. At least I don't. I'm not sure if a businessman is gonna come to you and say, "I need it's gonna pay me 1,000 euros to help them with Notebook LM." So maybe I should focus on things that satisfy, but not give everything. No?
Well,
I don't know.
yeah. Also, don't be afraid to just give away value with nothing in exchange. Like Dan Martell is a great example in your space of this. Dan Martell gives away amazing AI advice all the time that builds a ton of reciprocity and trust and gives you a lot of value. And he also has some AI businesses that are B2B that come through his YouTube. You can 100%, if it's related to your entire like niche, you can 100% make content about Notebook LM if it's just for value. Because if I'm a business owner and I watch your video on how to use that, and that gave me a ton of value, I'm going to subscribe to you and continue to watch your content. And another piece of content that I watch might hit on a pain point, not as deep as I needed solved with Notebook LM, but maybe like buying back time or saving money. And then I'll be like, oh, Albert's the guy I'm going to hire for this. You know what I mean? Like it's like a whole ecosystem. I call it the content ecosystem. And it's where like some of my videos, I have zero call to actions. And it's my only call to action is to go watch more of my content. Because I know how powerful it is to just give stuff for free with no expectation of anything in return, and how much like value, trust, and reciprocity that can build with other people. And then I know they'll enter in my ecosystem of other content. And then after that, like anytime they even think about hiring anybody for that specific thing, I know they're going to come to me over somebody else. So yeah, don't be afraid to like make videos about Notebook LM if you can manage to make it within your same niche, because you're not going to be able to convert people from it. You'd be shocked.
Okay.
Hey, Dylan. How do you know how far can you go back, and what sort of metrics do you choose when you think you might want to go back and like change a thumbnail in a video to see if you can revive it a little bit? Or is that even a thing? That's the one question I have. And then also, how do you figure out what playlists you want to have if you want to build like a library forever? Like when I look at your work, I can see it's got some completeness to it. Like it's almost like a book of business or a library. Like those are my two questions.
Okay, so the first one is I wouldn't even bother because YouTube, like with their not algorithm update, but really like slight algorithm shift, YouTube it has a recency bias. So it's biased towards more recent content and it's promoting older content less and less. So the inputs aren't worth the outputs to go try to revive an old video. Instead, just focus on making a new one. That's the first one. Sorry, remind me what I'm spacing. Remind me what the second question was. Sorry.
No, just in terms of like, okay, so if I had a video that was kind of doing okay, and it's biased towards new, should I just redo it in a different way, the same content, like the same topic again?
Well,
And then
how
also,
new? How old are we talking?
I don't know, like 6 months old or something like that.
Yeah,
But
redo it. 6 months.
okay,
Yeah.
and then also, in terms of like, if I know, like, I know for sure I want to do like a library of business. Like, I have a lot of content to cover, and I want to create playlists and all that stuff. Like, is there a way that you choose all of that in advance? Like, figure out like, or is that just it's all tied to the avatar, right? I mean, how do you do
Yeah,
that?
I think that if mine looks like that, it's because I've made everything back to the avatar, like I mentioned to Albert. Like
Okay.
I'm very specific with that, and I always run myself through those questions before making content. So
Okay.
that's probably why it feels like cohesive because I'm just targeting the. I'm thinking about who I'm targeting and why I'm making the video before I do, and because all of my like library of videos, if it feels cohesive like a playlist, that
Yeah.
wasn't on purpose. Like I didn't think a year ahead of the content I was going to make.
Okay. Thanks.
Cool, awesome guys, good questions. Any other questions?
About the analytics, like how do you have, like, I guess everything is about the system that makes sense. I mean, you start the video ideation, all this process. I think I like a little bit of analytical to understand why things are not working. What do you go on after each video or after each month or after X amount of time? What do you look about your videos?
Number one, views. And if the views are not where I want them to be, or if they are, I always go look at why. And the three metrics that tell you why the views are or aren't doing something is going to be, do you have your analytical dashboard up or do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, I can share. You have to accept me or how it works?
Well, I could share my screen. I already have it open.
Okay.
So for example, how do you see if the views, like why the views are doing bad or why the views are doing good? Well, I'll basically come here. I'll go to, YouTube Studio. And I'll go to my content. And let's say I'm like, okay, why did this video do good or why did it do bad? I'll click on the analytics button and I'll look at three things. One, the impressions. Two, the click-through rate. And three, the average view duration, which is actually down here. Those are like the three things that I look at because those three things are usually the only three things that make up why you do or do not have a lot of views. Of course, like the idea too, but this will tell you. So usually if you have a bad idea or title, you just won't get a lot of impressions, meaning YouTube just won't push your video. Like the way I like to view impressions is like, all right, this is how many times YouTube is trying to promote me, like, or how many people it's trying to promote me to. The CTR or click-through rate.
So basically the impressions is also related to the click-through rate, I guess. If it has a high click-through rate, it's going to give you more impressions.
Yeah, exactly. Because basically the way the click-through rate, it's like how many people out of this amount of impressions are clicking on your video. That's how the click-through rate's made up. So out of 83,000, X amount of people click, which equals 5.5% of people. So 5.5% of 83,000 people are clicking and watching the video, right? More, and take that with a grain of salt, more or less, because these aren't perfectly accurate. Like if you go and do the math, I bet you that's a little off. But unfortunately, that's just YouTube data. It's not perfectly accurate. You'll find that to be the case. These are honestly like the two most important. And then if you want to understand why a video didn't do well, or if you want to fix your packaging. So like if I need to fix my thumbnail, usually my click-through rate, like 9 out of 10 times it's because of your thumbnail. So I'll be like, oh, I have a 5.5% thumbnail. That means my packaging is amazing. I'm getting good impressions. It means my title and idea is great. If this was below 5%, I would say, okay, I need to change my thumbnail. If it's getting really low impressions, I would say, well, I should change my title, which usually is closely correlated with the idea. So I'll change my title and see if that can boost up more impressions. Now, average view duration is one of the most important metrics because YouTube's a business with business goals, and their whole goal is to keep people watching for longer. So if you have a good average view duration, then YouTube's going to push your content more. But in some, it's there, like the way that we have specific data for like click-through rate, like we should be above 5%, for example. We don't have that with average view duration or impressions. It's really channel by channel. But in what I've seen, the closest number that I could get to like a I guess
standard
reference is 30% average view duration. But again, I've seen videos do well with less than that. I've seen videos do well with more. I would say like that's the average standard in order to be like pushed by YouTube, but there is no data like actually published about it. It's just from everything that I've seen all together with the videos that I've worked on. So it's not like it must get to that amount or more in order to do well. So yeah,
okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. And about the systems, like for example, getting the ideas, you just run about YouTube, like you go around with a new YouTube channel. For example, I create a new account, and my plan is to just search workflows and things for companies, and then from that I get outliers. But I guess if I just focus on business, I'm not focusing that much on outliers.
Well, I would still, yeah. So like, for example, I'm shifting my content ever so slightly more towards like less like, hey, these are the algorithm hacks to grow, and more so like, hey, here are the strategies to use YouTube to convert into revenue. That's kind of more the direction I'm going. So what I do is I ask those same thing I told you. I practice what I preach. Before every video, I'll ask myself, who am I making this for? And what's the point I'm making this video? Like, what's the reason I'm making this? With those questions, because let's be real, like normally if before I make a video, it's normally because I have an idea of what I want to make more or less. And then what I like to do is like, I'll ask those two questions to get clarity on it. So, and then I'm like, okay, so now I know who I'm making it for and why I'm making it. Now I'll find an outlier that I could tie it to. So let me give you an example. This video here, this was the title, like how I made X amount of dollars on YouTube in X amount of days without going viral. So I asked myself the question, I was like, okay, so I won this challenge and I went to Gary Vee's place, and it's because I earned, an X amount of money through a YouTube channel that had an X amount of subscribers. I'm sure that this is like, I know that this would be a great video idea for me to talk about, because the people I'm targeting are entrepreneurs who want to make YouTube, like people who want to make YouTube work for them as a traffic engine, not as a way to just get famous, per se. And I'm like, okay, so that's the who. What's the reason I'm making this? Well, to help people understand that you can generate good amounts of revenue with even small audiences, as long as you have really strong bond or synergy between your audience, the content you make, and the offer you have. So I was like, okay, I just got clarity. That's the video I wanted to make. And then I was like, I just thought up in my head, what are some ways that I could go about this? Maybe it's like, I think the first idea I had was like how to make X amount of dollars in X amount of time. That was it. And then I was just like, I don't like it. So then I went into the business niche and I started researching outliers. And then I came across this title right here, which wasn't framed this way. I think it was from Alex Ramosi or something. And I was like, ooh, I could take this concept and say how I made X amount on YouTube in X amount of days, and then without going viral. I like that a lot. And then I took my idea and then I found an outlier to apply it to, if that makes sense. Okay. Alternatively, you can also just come up with ideas based on outlier research. It's up to you. I just find that it's a little bit easier to talk to the camera without a script if I first come up with the idea, or at least concept of what I want to talk about, and then try to find a way to make it applicable to an outlier. I can convey it much better to camera because it's clearly a point I'm already thinking about, versus when I'm doing outlier research, just looking for an idea based off of the outlier score, I'll have a harder time conveying it to camera because then I'm going to have to force coming. You know what I mean? Like,
because one thing is inside you, the other one is you have to. You've not invented it, but it's harder.
Yeah. So like that was how I came about this video, and this video is doing well. Like it's converting a bunch into my backend offer as well, which is really good. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Isa, what's up? What's up?
I have a question actually. I'm fairly new to this YouTube thing. My 18th video, which has been the last one, it got 5,800 impressions. It keeps going. But it's the first one that has been like that. And CTR is I think it was 8%. And
wow, that's great.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's also a little bit the video itself is like 6 minutes long, which I guess that has to do with it too. And what I got surprised was the AVD is at 38% right now. Again, it's a short video, but I was just
really
wondering.
Good.
Yeah, but I was just wondering, what do you think it is? How can I say the
how many views does it have?
Almost 600.
It's an outlier then for your channel,
I guess.
Right? I mean, what's your best performing video?
That's the only one. Yeah,
so that's an outlier.
Okay.
You need to post that in the community. That'll make some people super like motivated.
I will.
Yeah.
So my thing is, so if it's an outlier, so should I be like getting more like deeper with it, like see what got attention to people? My bad. Attention to people and things like that, or should I be working on that framework, with the script, or what do you think it is?
Well, let me ask you, what did you do different with this video that you have not done with other videos?
I think your strategy with scripting.
Okay. Anything else?
That's the first video that I did the scripting with your framework, and also the thumbnail is really different from the other ones.
That's going to be the most important one right there. So I talked about this in the coaching call. The three most important things, and this is one of the biggest lessons I took away from Gary Vee. The three most important things when it comes to YouTube videos, and the three levers that you need to focus on. And sorry, Jill's going to hear this again. It's your idea. That's the first one. The second most important is your packaging, the title and the thumbnail. And the third is the value you give, not necessarily how the value is given. Because like, for example, Gary Vee has no scripted content. So it's not the scripting, it's the packaging that you did that's different, for sure. For sure. What were you going to say? Were you going to say something?
Yeah, about the scripting without scripting the whole thing. I think I'm not quite there. Some confident at the same time.
Sorry, you broke up. Can you hear me?
I feel this. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Now, I said I think it's about confidence, about when when you're not screaming, believe, and sometimes I like that. But I guess it's, like I said, I'm fairly new to this, so I mean, it's like I don't understand the points, how to, you know what I'm saying, like to put it all
Yeah, but you
together, you
you
know.
you don't need to like these are like, of course it helps you be more optimized, but you're teaching somebody something that you're better than, the people watching you at, right? So like what I've found to be some really, really important, impactful things to do is like share stories or experiences that relate to your main point, if possible, just to build a little bit more authenticity. But also, keep a bullet point next to you. And then, as far as feeling uncomfortable on camera, everybody feels uncomfortable on camera. It's just reps you need to put. It's like going to the gym. Like you need to put in reps to get the results. It's the same thing with talking on camera.
Right.
Because one thing that Tom Nosk, he was a mentor of mine. He, how did he say it? Let me see if I have it written down because I don't want to butcher this. It was so good. Where is it? What did he say? Oh, man, do I not have it here? He said something that I absolutely loved when it came to this. Was it? Right here. You become what you repeatedly practice. And the whole thing was because he was talking to us. I was in his cohort, and he was talking about how he used to be fully scripted, like I was, and how he moved away from it because things that were extremely relatable. I've spent most of my time on YouTube fully scripted, and I realized, like, I asked myself these questions because I got them from him, which was, do you really know the information that you're teaching people as well as you think you do? If you need to rely on a script, or do you value being more authentic and being able to articulate yourself well? To me, those are huge things that I value. And I realized that I was lacking those massively by reading every video off a teleprompter. But I also realized that I sucked at talking to camera. So it's something I had to get better at.
That's how
So
I
one of the
feel.
one of the ways I got better at it was, and it takes a little bit of time, but I would literally do my video to the camera and I would tell myself I'll delete it right after. And then if it was good, I would just leave it. But if it wasn't, I would actually delete it and film it again. And also, another thing is use a bullet point list. Don't write tons of sentences as a bullet point because then you'll just end up reading the bullet point as a script. Just like bullet points to keep you on track, and try talking to camera and having just like a good time. And remember, this is a huge mental reframe that helps me even to this day when I go film. Nobody's going to watch this video unless I allow them to. Because a lot of times, the second we start recording, we start feeling this pressure like our audience is already watching us. But they're only going to see this video if we allow them to see it, if we post it. So taking that pressure off of yourself as right when you hit record has been a massive, massive reframe with me and talking to camera. Because I used to suck at it and I used to be scared of it. That was one of the things that I did. And another thing that I did was basically any friction points I had, like I felt shy if anybody around my household could hear me filming YouTube videos in my office. So I would wait until my kid was the loudest, like at 2 PM and making the most sound downstairs so that I could scream in my office and nobody would hear me. And that's when I would film, right? So that I could be authentically, enthusiastically myself. And these small things, like trying to not fight against these feelings you have when it comes to filming yourself, but leaning into them and trying to find ways to, get past it. But honestly, I think that the biggest needle mover for me in terms of getting good at or better at filming myself on camera, talking to the camera, was, for me, my biggest pain point was feeling the pressure that everybody's watching me, but nobody's watching unless I allow them to. That for me was the biggest one. And also remembering that you can use tools even if you don't know how to edit, like Tela. And if you mess up, who cares? You can go and cut that part out. Like if you mess up, don't start over. Like just take a breath. Like, all right, okay, go. Like, just so you know, in like some of my videos, I will literally have like 2 minutes straight up 2-minute pauses where I'm just like staring off into space, trying to remember what in the world I was talking about. Like my videos before they're just cut up are horrendous. They just don't look like that because I just throw them into like some easy software and just cut out the really long silences or mistakes. Like that's another thing. Don't put the pressure on yourself that you need to make it a banger, make it perfect right first try. Like I have worked with massive YouTubers and seen the raw footage, the biggest YouTubers that you could think of, even in their raw footage before it's edited, sometimes is horrendous. It's sometimes so rough. And you see them constantly like repeating the same line over and over and over again, sometimes like 10 plus times. Like if I showed you guys my raw, maybe one day in the community, I'll post one of my raw videos so you guys could see like before I cut out the mistakes. There's a lot of them.
Because for me, it's like the script, the whole script, it makes me like, okay, then I can do this. You know what I mean? But I just don't want to depend on it.
If you need to script out fully. Like if you can't fathom the idea of doing out a bullet point to the camera, all I'm saying is, I think it's
But
a
I want
really
to get
important
to that
skill.
point. I really want
I
to
think it's
get
a
to
really
that
important
point.
skill.
Yeah. I do want to get to that point because for me it's like you can just flow with it.
It reduces so much friction in the process as well. Like I'm able to create so many more videos and not have to worry about micro optimizations when you do that. Honestly, I would say just go for it. Just try it and just focus all your time and energy on the idea, the packaging, and the value you're saying in the video.
Okay.
And sorry,
Okay.
Jill, I know you were on the coaching call yesterday, so you already heard all that, but that's what we talked about yesterday on the coaching call.
No, but it's great to
Okay.
hear it again. It's such a big shift, and I think it's so important. So important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So Isa, try doing that. And I think one thing that helped me a lot too is like, if I go make a video talking to camera without a script about the algorithm, it's going to be all over the place because it's like, yeah, that's easier to read off of. And I don't care that much about it. If it's a video about like the lessons I learned from going to New York and speaking more so than with Gary Vee, more so with his team VaynerMedia, I learned more from them. And like I make a video about the lessons that I learned from them and how other people can implement them. And it's something that I'm super passionate about, which is like the business side of things and using YouTube as like a traffic engine. That video is going to be a video where I can very easily talk to, like, for example, that video, I think there might've been 2 cuts in that video that I did where I talked about that because it was something that I had on my mind already. And I was really stoked to talk about it and it will come off. But that's why I told Albert, I know it's a little bit more annoying to come up with an idea and then find an outlier. Again, it's much easier to find an outlier and then apply that outlier. But for me, I know that I can just dish it out to camera way easier if I have the idea and then I try to figure out how to make that idea an outlier because I can just talk on it. Like when you're excited about it or you're stoked on it or you know even fragments of it, you'll just convey it way better to the camera than if you don't care about it.
It makes sense because I feel like because my mom she's my biggest fan, I'll say. And I can because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. I can explain it to her like nothing. But
Yeah,
I guess it's just I'm just scared.
I know. And just try it. Maybe even try it without even the expectation of posting it so you don't get disappointed. Just try
Oh
filming
well,
it.
I'll try later.
And feel free to send it to me and Skool DM and I can take a look at it. But
Okay.
one other point I'll say too is choosing a specific story that has to do with what you're talking about in your content could be very powerful. For example, the story that I have hundreds of stories of my life, but the one that I specifically choose to tell is the story of how I was so broke that I couldn't afford baby food for my kid. And how in a year's time, I now got flown out by Gary Vee and won this whole challenge, all that. You guys have heard it before, right? And my whole story is like that arc because that story, more than any other story I have, and I have a lot of them, is the most applicable to what I'm talking about. So, and this is something Gary Vee shared as well, was like, he's like, I don't share hardly any of my personal life. And all of us were like, wait, you're right, you don't, but it feels like you do. But he's very selective with which parts he shares in order to build that authenticity and that personal brand side of things. That was the way that he did that, was basically like choosing specific stories in your life that are applicable to what you're talking about. So if it's an experience with you and your mom, or it's experience, whatever it is, think about what that story could be and stick to it. And you'll see that I did that in the video I was talking about, where I just sit down in a hotel room. I'm like, by the way, guys, the lessons I'm going to share with you right now, like they're the same ones that helped me go from being so broke I couldn't afford baby food, blah, 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 the whole story, to where I'm, I got so many comments on that video of me, people like, I love how authentic this felt, like all that. And it builds a deeper kind of connection too with people. So that's also another good piece of advice that I don't want to forget to share that I learned from them as well, in terms of like, when you're going off script, it really does create impact when you could share a story. If the story is relevant to what you're saying. Mine's relevant because what I'm passionate about is turning YouTube traffic into revenue, because that's what helped me get out of that situation. And that's why that story is applicable, right?
Awesome.
That story has nothing to do with YouTube growth, but it has to do with my main core, like, passion about talking about YouTube growth, which is the whole purpose of growing YouTube to convert into traffic to my business, right? That's what helped me get out of that situation. That's how I basically make it applicable, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dylan. You blow my mind right now. So awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. Awesome. Sounds good. Awesome. Cool, guys. Any other last minute questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, I have one last. I'm not sure if I already asked you, because I had a lot of questions, but I just want to make sure I get out this one. Sure. What is the difference? What do you recommend more? To do NI10 for my situation, NI10 like workflows and show how they work, or to do maybe type of presentations that I can show them A, B, C, what advantages of having AI in your business, or both?
I would honestly do 80-20, like I mentioned, the Pareto principle, 80%.
That's what I didn't understand. Okay.
But
what is this Pareto?
I would also test it. I would test it and I would see, is one performing better than the other? And then let that guide your, it's like, for example, I would make 80% of content, the NAN stuff, 20% of content, the presentation stuff. I would make like 5 videos on each and then see, okay, which one did better from a growth perspective and which one brought me in more leads. And then I would figure out what direction to go after that. If that makes sense.
Okay. I don't know where. Do you know where the traffic comes from? Like, you have specific links?
I use a third-party tool that tracks the amount of, that's why I'm able to tell you guys exactly how much a specific video made me, because I use tools that track exactly that. But I have my complaints about each one, and I'm currently testing 3 different ones. And when I find one that I really like, I'm going to recommend it to all of you guys. But I just don't feel comfortable recommending something that I've not personally had a great experience with yet. Granted, I do get the data I need, so I can see exactly how much I made from each video, but they're very unpleasant to work with, or very difficult to work with, or there's always some other problem. But when I test enough of them, and you guys will be the first to know my recommendation.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Dylan, I just have a quick question. I don't know if you had time to see my post.
There's been a lot of posts. I probably haven't seen it. Sorry.
It's fine. I just want to know what I can share and what I cannot, but I just drop it over there. I don't know if you can answer it. And just not to get time right now, but when you can, obviously.
Yeah, do you remember what the post was about? Do you want to ask about it right now?
Yes, it was about my impressions with the thumbnails, testing.
Oh, okay. It should automatically tell you which one was the winner when it's done testing.
It doesn't say.
No, like, look, I'll let me see if I could pull it up here if I have one.
After 14 days, no, it is.
Well, that's on YouTube. But if you're using a third-party tool like Thumbnail Tester, so like, for example, here. when you're testing stuff right here, instead of saying extend test, it should say exactly, it should show which thumbnail won the test. And then it will say set thumbnail. And you could click that button and set the thumbnail. If it doesn't say that, what you should do is come up here and make sure that you have the Chrome extension installed.
It is for sure. It is for
Is it?
sure. Yeah. I just don't know why. I don't know why it's not showing me.
Okay, well, if not, I will still let me know if it's not showing you, and if not, I'll go look at the post and see which one's performing best.
This is free. This app?
No, it's paid.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good though. I just wanna.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool,
All right,
guys.
thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for showing up, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.